Hello everyone, welcome to BATV Test of Champions Fan Doosra show powered by Dafa News. I have with me some special fans from the Bharat Army, Yatharth, Gurkirat and Varnata. We'll talk to you guys, but before that, Sadhika, do we call this day one? I mean, or day two, or day क्या है? Yesterday का पूरा day washed out हो गया था.
I feel it is day one. Because रिजर्व डे हम लोग यूज करने वाले हैं.
Exactly.
और बेसिकली कल मुझे वर्णता ने मैसेज किया, उसने हम लोग के तीनों शोज देखे और उसके बाद उसने बोला कि अभी कुछ डिस्कशन के लिए कुछ बचा ही नहीं है, तो अभी हम लोग कल सिर्फ बारिश के बारे में बात करें.
Seriously, that's what's left right now.
हाँ, उसने रेनकोट भी पहना है.
This was us yesterday, where all the rain washed out and everything. तो आज तो कुछ बात करने के लिए बचा नहीं है.
I feel this should have been the jersey for the test of champions final. You know, सब jersey raincoat के साथ अभी खेल लो. So anyway, Gurkirat, Yatharth, Varnata, this is day 2 and luckily अभी पहले तो we have a reserve day, जो whole purpose of reserve day था. I hope that doesn't get spoiled कि वो उस दिन भी बारिश हो जाए. But anyway, right now let's just focus on the weather update. क्योंकि there's good news, there's very good news कि वहाँ पर बारिश नहीं हो रही है as of now and बहुत टाइम से नहीं हो रही है. There's in fact a tweet by Vikrant Gupta as well. Can you please show it on the screen so that I can read it out to everyone? Vikrant Gupta says, alert, a clear sunny day beckons in Southampton. It's bright in the morning, covers are off and play will start bang on time. Don't think captains would now be tempted to bowl first. Well, that's an interesting tweet. Gurkirat, if toss India jeet jati hai, what should Virat choose?
I think even unless the game was starting yesterday, after some rain, then it probably would have made sense to go first. But if we look back at India's history, if we go back to Leeds 2002, if we go back to Johannesburg 2018, or even if we go back to Trent Bridge 2018, when India won the toss and chose to bat first. Usually, regardless of what has been there, regardless of the conditions, India has chosen to bat first, and it has resulted in victories. Except for one test match, which I would say was back in 2007 in Trent Bridge when we won the series. So, and we should also remember that whenever India has won the toss, especially whenever Virat Kohli has won the toss, he has lost only one game, which was in Adelaide, and that was also a day-night test where a lot of captains would have chosen to bowl first as well. So, I don't think choosing to bowl first was anyway an option, especially considering when you are playing two spinners. And those of who could thrive on this wicket, because the pitch overall is dry. There is no, and we know how the forecast also works in England. Sometimes there is forecast for rain and the rain doesn't happen, and sometimes there is no forecast and rain happens out of nowhere. So you have to trust your batsman to do the job early on, and then put pressure on the opposition. So I still think that India will win the toss, and if they win the toss, they will choose to bat first.
Absolutely. Varnata, what's your take on this? Bat first?
हाँ, अगर अभी विक्रांत गुप्ता का अगर हमें ट्वीट नहीं देखा होता तो शायद हम जा सकते थे बॉल फर्स्ट के, कंसीडरिंग देयर माइट बी मॉइस्चर ऑन द पिच और ग्रीन था. तो अब तो कंफर्म हो गया कि if we are winning the toss, we're going to bat first.
Absolutely. Yatharth, yesterday I remember you mentioned that we should ideally bowl, right? But now, considering weather and all these updates, are you still with the opinion ki ball first, bat?
Not really. Seeing the condition that it's going to be a dry pitch, then I think I also agree that you should bowl first. And considering the start, yesterday Saurav Ganguly also mentioned that India have most of the matches won by batting first. So I think batting first could have been a great option, but the most important thing is to win the toss.
Yeah.
Again, here Bharat Singh is saying, आज मैच देखेंगे आराम से.
Absolutely. मतलब कल का पूरा दिन, Gurkirat, I've asked this to Yatharth. I want to ask Varnata and Gurkirat कि कल पूरा दिन were you like constantly waiting for updates? क्योंकि after lunch मेरा थोड़ा mood चला गया था कि अरे बारिश नहीं रुक रही है, जो होगा वो देखेंगे अभी. So Gurkirat, what was you're constantly waiting for updates?
No, not really, because I was watching the other women's test match. I was like, there's something to watch anyway. And once the day's play was called off for the men's game, I know there's the West Indies South Africa test match as well. So I don't lose sleep over it because I'm sort of a person who can watch any cricket. I even watch Blast sometimes. So for me it was okay, because it's no point getting frustrated over things which are not in your control. So the only good thing that I was hoping that if play was to happen today, it starts on time, because if the first session is then delayed because of what happened in Lord's 2018, When you have a rain curtailed day, then it becomes an issue in choosing what to do after winning the toss. Because at that point of time, you would rather be the captain who loses the toss so that you don't have any responsibility or accountability over the result. But now that it's starting on time, there is sunshine, and you'd hope that the outfield is dry. So like I said before, it makes sense to bat first.
Okay, Varnata, what about you?
So I actually, to be honest, मैंने कल छुट्टी ली थी मैच देखने के लिए, आराम से मैच देखूंगी, कस्टमर कॉल रहता है, तो I took holiday, but शायद रेन देखने का मेरी किस्मत में लिखा था कल, but again and again वो Southampton में क्या वेदर हुआ, कब क्लियर होगा, but finally it was a washout. So again we are hoping for today that there is no rain today, and we should get to see some cricket.
Exactly.
Okay,
yesterday's पूरा दिन reminded me of Champions Trophy 2013 जब मैं constantly TV पे था. I was waiting कि कुछ तो like 20 overs की भी match हो रही तो which happened eventually and we won. But it kind of reminded me, took me back to that memory. Go on.
Okay. I want to ask Yatharth कि अगर विराट ने बैटिंग ली first, तो इधर अक्षर पूछ रहे हैं what should India's first inning score after batting be?
What should be? Yeah.
I think if we get a decent score above 275, then it would be more than enough, because we will hardly get a play of maximum 3 days. So I think a 275 score is a par score, and if we go out and if we bat really well and we reach to a score of 300, then I think the game is mostly in our hands.
Yeah, even yesterday I remember morning session में we were talking कि 350 तक अच्छा है. जैसा बारिश बढ़ते जा रहे थे कि 325, 300, 275, now we'll settle for 200. खेल लो ODI match. Abhijit is over here. Abhijit, hello. First of all.
Yeah, hello.
Your audio is also fine right now. So Abhijit, just one quick question before we move on to Bharat. अभी Southampton में है. उसके पहले just want to ask you, अगर toss जीते तो क्या लेना चाहिए?
As for me, I mean, India should look to bowl first, because to get the advantage of the weather and take the first bowling, so that in the swinging condition, India might not look to bat first. But I don't know what other members think.
Yeah, no, so I think this can be a proper debate का setup हो गया, but दो है. But anyway, as of now, let's just go back to Bharat Army जो भी Southampton में है, उनके पास कुछ cool videos है. Let's watch it and have some fun.
Morning, good morning. Welcome to, I don't know if this is day 1 or day 2. Getting a little bit confused. Is
day 2.
It's officially day, right?
It's day 2.
Playing like day 1.
Day 2 playing like day 1. I was all very confused. No, of course it's day 2, but this is breakfast with the Bharat Army. So I've got to be honest, I've whizzed around to a couple of other hotels this morning. There's only a few that are unpeeling themselves from their duvets this Saturday morning. But tell me, first of all, about yesterday. No cricket was played yesterday, India versus New Zealand, but the atmosphere was still lovely, wasn't it?
Atmosphere was absolutely beautiful. Bharat Army created some noise. We didn't see any cricket, but we played cricket. Actually got out from a 7-year-old.
Oh, there was a 7-year-old boy there. Yeah, he was playing along with all the Bharat Army lot. And
apparently he plays county cricket.
He bowled you out. It was embarrassing.
It was underarm. Underarm. But
let's not talk about his form. Tell me just so generally. I think it was nice, wasn't it? Just to kind of have everyone together. I felt like yesterday, even though there was no cricket played, it was one big catch up. Oh, how are you? Everyone was kind of, it's like friends meeting up with friends.
Yeah, no, it was really good, and that's why today with the cricket it's going to be a lot better. There's going to be more noise from the Bharat Army, and looking forward to creating some atmosphere.
Yeah, that was it. The conditions, though. Talk to me about those, actually, because there's so much to talk about. It chucked it down yesterday. It rained so hard. What does that mean for us today?
I think it means Kohli's got one job today, and that is to win the toss. If we win the toss, well, whichever team win the toss is in huge position to win the game. It's that important with the forecast over the next few days. It's overcast. We all know it's seam bowler friendly. It's going to be swinging, doing all sorts. The team that loses the toss today and is put into bat, their openers are going to be shaking in their boots. So I'm hoping that's the New Zealand openers and not the India openers.
Right. And we can change the team up until the toss. Do we change strategy? Do we put in that extra batsman, take out one of our spin bowlers, which may not be needed now?
To be honest with you, I probably wouldn't, because I still think that our 11 is the best 11, and regardless of the conditions, I don't think there's any more value that other players would add compared to the 11 we've got. So no, I wouldn't change the 11.
But he's also quite stubborn like that. Do you know what I mean? If you were playing cards with him, he'd stick with the bad hand, wouldn't he? Because he'd be like, no, well, I'm not changing my mind, because he's Amish and he's sure of himself. Would you agree with that?
No, I do agree. You know, yesterday when the team got picked, it was the same forecast. We knew it was overcast. The team manager, no, this is our best team. This is what we're going to go with. And I also think, with the extra spinner, that's the batsman that we've got. If we were to take one of the spinners out, put a seam bowler in, our batting would be too weak.
So you agree with?
I agree with you.
Wow, that's a first. That's a first. I feel like at that moment I've peaked. I might retire now. In fact, I'm retiring. We're out.
You know, it's really interesting to watch Indian fans, be it Bharat में हम लोग भी toss playing 11 का इतना discussion कर रहे हैं, and then India के management they'll be all chilled out कि जो भी हम लोग देख लेंगे. That just hopefully is the case in the Indian team management.
Yeah, and I want to ask Varnata कि will we see Kohli's century in the final?
We want to.
हाँ, वो तो है, but
हाँ, ये तो answer
but
है.
will we? That's the question.
And you are a big RCB fan, so I want to know from you.
Yeah, I'm a big RCB fan and a Virat Kohli fan. तो ये तो definitely बनता है इतने दिन से, मतलब we have been waiting. It's like अब कब ये wait खत्म होगा और कब हमें century देखने मिलेगी. तो definitely we are looking that in the upcoming days he hits his 71st run and with a WTC win.
Okay, guys, there's a complete storm outside my window. I'm worried कि हम लोग का network ना चला जाए. And luckily यहाँ पर बारिश है, वहाँ पर नहीं. That's one big positive.
And also here Dev Kash is saying on Facebook, but the cover were on the pitch for so long. I think the pitch will be moist or damp, and the ball will move more in the first 2 sessions.
Yup, totally agreed.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be really interesting. मतलब a lot of things would depend कि toss जीत के कौन क्या choose कर रहा है, कितना score है. A lot of things will be revealed once the match starts. You know, it might seem कि ऐसा pitch है, but actual bat करते हैं, it might just be more difficult, more easy. Anyway, Gurkirat, right now let's just focus on the playing 11 which was announced beforehand. I know Yathar's answer, but then Gurkirat, from you, is it a good thing कि India पहले ही अपना playing 11 declare कर देती है? Or does it bring a chance, कि थोड़ा उस हिसाब से opponent अपना weakness के हिसाब से team adjust कर सकती है? So is it a good thing, a bold statement, or a risky?
It's a bit of both. It's a bit of both because you're sending out a message that what is your 11 anyway, what are your 11 players, and you back them to do the job regardless of what the conditions are. But at the same time, the opposition does have an advantage. Maybe they would have been planning for. If the 11 was not revealed, they could have studied someone like Mohammad Siraj and Hanuma Vihari a little more. But I think eventually it doesn't matter a lot, because when you are preparing these days, you prepare for the whole squad. You try and look out to cover each and every aspect of the game that is possible. You have a whole team of analysts. So I don't think it's that much of a big deal, regardless of what you do anyway. Plus, it's more to do with the fans knowing, because when you are practicing at the same venue, you sort of also get an hint, an idea which player might play. Because if you're observing which player is practicing a lot more or is having a longer net session, then you sort of get an idea. Okay, this player is bowling an extended spell in the net, so there's a good chance that he might play. So I think for the opposition, it doesn't matter that much. It's just that the fans, especially the Indian fans, become a lot less anxious, and the conspiracy theories are put to rest.
Yeah, cool. In fact, there's an interesting statement by Indian legend and ex-players, Mr. Sunil Gavaskar. Can we please show that, so we read it out to them and then discuss it with the fans as well? So the quote goes in such a way that, so I feel like maybe they'll think of playing another batsman because of the weather, because these conditions are suitable for New Zealand fast bowler. So Rishabh Pant is at 6, he might shift to 7, and an extra batsman might play. Seeing this weather, one spinner might be dropped. Yatharth, what's your take on this?
I think it's a bit drastic, type of con, because I won't prefer going with an extra batsman and dropping one of your spinners. So because I think Jadeja, come on, let's be fair, he is a proper batsman. The way he batted against Australia with the knock which he played against Ajinkya Rahane, I think that was the most crucial knock. So seeing Ravindra Jadeja's batsman. I think he's more of a batting all-rounder now rather than a bowling all-rounder. So I think if you remove him, you only have an option of a Hanuma Vihari because you have dropped KL and Mayank out of your squad. So I think going with going with the same 11 would be a lot more better because it creates a more uncertainty in your 11, that nothing is stable in your 11. So I think a stable 11 is lot more better than if you're changing, if you're getting fear that the opposition bowling lineup is it's fearful, and it's a perfect condition for them to bowl. But I think we should believe in our batting lineup. The batting lineup which we have, I think it's the best in the world right now.
That's interesting.
Yes,
It's
and
not just the match that is happening over there, it's a mind game as well, which I kind of agree ki aisa dikh jayega. We are not really confident with the playing 11 right now. That shouldn't really happen. Abhijit, one opinion from you. Do you foresee any changes being made? Because officially, abhi bhi papers exchange nahi hue. The team sheet has not been exchanged. So do you foresee any changes?
Before that, actually, there is also a statement from Team India that this Team India that playing 11 they have picked, they are capable of winning in any. I mean, they have taken out the pitch or any sort of environmental condition out of the equation. So honestly, I don't see any change in the playing 11 because if I could remember well, Ishant Sharma and Mohammad Shami, they have got 50s in that condition earlier. And Jadeja, as Yatharth mentioned, he's already known as a batting all-rounder these days, and Ashwin he has also got Test 100. So India has the batting depth, so they might not look for any other changes. And this playing 11, I mean, this is the go-to playing 11 in any condition. And there were changes because of injury or any experiment, but these five bowlers has not played any time together also. So this is the best thing, that best bowling attack that has been reserved for such a occasion. And I don't see any changes that India team management will look to match.
Cool. Abhijit, behind you, I can see a number 18 jersey that reminds me of Virat Kohli. You're a big VK fan, and Varnada is also a big VK fan. So, Varnada, coming to you, there's a comment of you on YouTube by Sanraj Brar saying, will we see Gill and Kohli find their form?
Kohli, yes, definitely. So we know he's hungry right now for scoring more runs, and we know he is going to chase this trophy. So we have seen that people expect from Kohli every time 100, which is not possible. So if you see his past performances, he has scored small runs like 50, 30s, which again counts. He's scoring runs, right? It's not that he's out of form. And only scoring 100 doesn't mean that you are in form. So he's in form. It's just that he has to come and score well and take us to the victory. That's it.
Yeah, I think that's the standard set by Virat. Like yesterday, we were talking with Yatharth as well. There was a mention that Virat is not in his prime form, and then that person itself mentioned ki 50-60 marta hai abhi. So that's the kind of standard that Virat has set. 50-60 is basically Virat out of form. Anyway,
Yeah, here Akshat on YouTube is asking who will be the man of the tournament in this final. Will it be Rahane or Ashwin? So, and to ask Gurkirat your opinion.
I think it's too early to talk about it. The reason that I say is that we have seen a lot of these awards go to the team that wins. So regardless of the better performer being on the losing side. So I think it's a little early to say that who might be. But if we are going to talk of as a whole, it's very difficult to pick actually, because Rahane, a lot of people forget, contributed very well in the series versus West Indies away, and versus in the series versus South Africa at home also. So these two series sort of become non-existent because of the recency bias that fans seem to carry. And at the same time, Ashwin's also been the highest wicket taker. He's taken 67 wickets. So a very difficult call. I think a lot of it would actually depend on how they go in this game as well. Just one thing that I wanted to add on Kohli. I know everyone's wanting him to score big, but this is a bowling attack where where he struggled against bowlers. Tim Southee, Trent Bolt, and Neil Wagner all have dismissed him 3 times. And I have a few numbers. He scored 109 runs against Tim Southee and has been dismissed 3 times. Against Bolt, he scored 132 runs and been dismissed 3 times. And against Wagner, he scored 60 runs and been dismissed 3 times. So a cause of worry over there. But
Yeah.
hopefully he does well. And as far as his form is concerned, if you look at absolute numbers, then obviously they don't paint a very good picture, because there have been a few ducks over there which has brought down the average down. But if you
Yeah.
look at his last 350s, whether it be in the second innings in Chennai, second test, or second innings in Chennai, first test, or the 70 odd in Adelaide, all three of them have been much better than a few of his hundreds in his career. So the class is obviously there,
Yeah.
but a lot would come down to on how he negates the threat, because like I said, this is a pace attack against which he hasn't done particularly well.
Yeah.
So it's a 50-50 sort of a thing.
ब्रो आपने जो स्टैट्स भेजे उससे मुझे टेंशन आने लगा अभी आई थिंक सबके चेहरे आई वाज जस्ट ऑब्जर्विंग एवरीवन वाज स्माइलिंग सडनली यू सेड न्यूजीलैंड के सामने ही हैज स्ट्रगल्ड एंड एवरीवन वाज फ्राउनिंग बट इट्स ओके इट्स विराट ही इज अ बिग मैच प्लेयर ही विल fight for the team and test format it's his probably his favorite format the way he has led has also meant a lot like Kohli ka contribution when it comes to test championship की बात करें so it's not just the batting Virat Kohli the captaincy as well जो killer instinct है जो wicket लेना है I remember Shastri mentioning कि कहीं पर भी हो मेलबर्न हो या वानखेड़े हम लोग को 20 विकेट लेने मतलब लेने हैं एनीवे Varnada if we have to talk about the bowling department of Indian team which bowler are you banking on कि he has to lead the attack क्योंकि सब काफी top players हैं
Yeah, so everyone in our bowling department is doing well and is in form. So if someone has to lead the attack, would be Ishant Sharma.
Okay.
Because the experience counts, experience matter. ऐसे बड़े match में, I mean, it's a final. छोटा कोई
Yeah.
match में IPL का होता तो yeah, we could expect somebody else to do the job. But coming to a final, I think the experienced one should lead the attack, and I think Ishant Sharma will do well, and others as well. I mean, if you see Mohammad Shami, again the conditions fits him well. And coming to Jadeja, we know he's the best bowler, fielder, everything. So
Yeah.
even Jadeja is going to do well, but leading the attack it would be Ishant Sharma.
Yatharth what about you
I personally don't want any bowler to lead the attack. I want every bowler should be that one effective, because if we say that Ishant Sharma is going to be the the most effective bowler and he is going to be the leader bowler, but then the batsman would be rather more careful while playing Ishant Sharma, and they might score runs again the other bowler. So I want the pace bowling attack it should be balanced out. Each bowler should be contribute and taking wicket. But if the pressure comes on a bowler, I think then they might build a struggle, because the most consistent problem in India is we take the first 6 wicket very quickly when we are just on mark, but the next 4 wickets they actually count more number of runs. So I think that is the area of concern. If our bowlers are right on money, no warm up deliveries at all, then I think we would be just on our track to take the cup home.
Okay, Gurkirat, you mentioned regarding New Zealand bowlers doing really well, and they are a big threat, which is a fact. Indian bowlers में कौन biggest threat है for New Zealand batsmen?
I think the best thing about this bowling attack is that it's extremely well rounded. Maybe apart from not having a left arm pacer, but that is okay. You can't do anything about it. But if you look player by player, I think to dismiss every batsman in a way, there are two bowlers. For the two openers, you have the likes of Ishant and Ashwin who can bowl in tandem. Then if you look at number 3 and 4, Jadeja, for Kane Williamson, you have someone like Ravichandran Ashwin who's dismissed in 5 times, and someone like Mohammad Shami can be handy, because Kane Williamson doesn't really have a big stride, so he's always an LBW candidate, and can nick a ball which seems slightly away, which Mohammad Shami is good at. But it would actually depend on how his radar goes. Then against Ross Taylor as well, we saw how much he was struggling against England in the second test, despite scoring the runs. He looked very tentative. So again, someone like a Jadeja with his fiery pace, sometimes where he can slip in the quicker one easily, can get him out LBW. Then you move into Nichols, again a left-hander. You have Shant and Ashwin who can bowl in tandem. Watling again can struggle with the away going delivery, as he struggled against Markwood. So for every batsman, in a way, you have two bowlers who can attack a particular weakness if you have studied well. So it's hard to pick one Indian bowler, and I think that's been the hallmark of this Indian bowling attack. Because even if you look back at the series versus Australia where we won 2-1, there was only one 5-wicket haul, which was by Mohammad Siraj, which showed that almost everyone was contributing, which is a hallmark of a great bowling attack. And the reason why I say this is Pat Cummins, we would agree, is one of the best in the world, but he has only five-wicket hauls in so many test matches. The reason is because good bowling attacks hunt in pairs, and that is why you never necessarily have a bowler completely leading the attack or having a lot of fifers. So I don't think it's going to change from that Indian perspective. You're going to have specific set plans for each and every batsman, and bowlers attacking that, regardless of how the game might be flowing. They'll stick to their plans.
Okay. गुरकीरत जी, आपके पास सामने स्क्रीन पे स्टैट्स है या आपके माइंड में इतना सब कुछ डेटा भरा हुआ है? You just throw stats as if you eat it for breakfast.
I sort of do eat it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But genuinely, I tend to do my research quite thoroughly, and I keep these numbers handy because I think without numbers, it's just narratives flowing left, right, and center. Anyone can throw it and you can come up with it, but it always helps if you have some numbers to back it up.
Okay. Abhijit, lastly, the same question: which bowler could be the biggest threat, or is it the entire bowling pack?
To be honest, please ask me question before Gurkirat because I have nothing to add. He is inspiring me to look into numbers. Okay. Anyway, I will tell from a fan's point of view, no numbers. As our highest wicket taker in this sort of series in an innings has been Akshar Patel, who is out now. So it has been a mixed bag of bowlers who are doing well for India. That's why we have come so far. But honestly, as a gut feeling, I would look to. I want Ishan Sharma to get his due. He's not in our limited over schemes anymore. So it will be very unlikely to see New Zealand batsmen getting out like a 10 for 6 or getting early breakthroughs. So it will be up to someone like Ishan Sharma who will be bowling later overs to take those wickets. As Yatharth also mentioned, first 5-6 wickets, then those partnerships. For someone like New Zealand who has been so good that we won't get wickets so easily. So I am banking on Ishan Sharma, and there could be it will be a dream for me as a fan to see someone who is there in the red ball series to get his due. Someone like a Pujara leading from the front in the batting department, and Ishan Sharma in the bowling department.
Cool.
Okay. Here एक थोड़ा टॉपिक चेंज करती हूँ, बट मुझे बहुत ज्यादा पसंद है ये कमेंट. On YouTube it is big hats off to Bharat Army for going all over the world and making our players feel like home, and that does make a difference.
Totally, it makes a big difference. In fact, उतना ही नहीं तो हम लोग के भी शो में एनर्जी आ जाती है. So let's do one thing. I think it's time. Let's watch another video by the Bharat Army. So let's just watch it.
Sorry, you done on your breakfast, boys? Yeah, you finished?
I'll go for second rounds later.
There's a second. Okay, well, before you get onto your second round, I want to send you to the future a little bit. Just fast forward to the end of today. Imagine today's play has ended, the official first playing day of cricket. If India have batted, what do you want the score to be after today's play?
300 for none.
Right, okay.
Shubman Gill double century, Rohit Sharma a nice century, and we give him another chance.
Great.
Bringing it back down to earth now, I would take...
It's okay to dream, Akshay. You know what, that's his problem sometimes. You just don't let go.
Listen,
it's okay?
300 all out I would take. In these conditions, if we can get to 300 as a first inning score, take that right now. Yeah. The worry is if we do lose toss and we do bat first and we're 150 for 8, trying to get to 170, and most fans saying, please get to 200, 300 is the score to get today. And if you do get 300 in these conditions, you're in a very, very strong position.
So fast forward, what is it now? It's 20 past 8 in the morning now. Fast forward 8 hours. If I said, Akshay, hey, 300 on the board, you're like, yep, happy with that. And
Did I say 300 to me? I said 300.
Okay, all right.
You didn't speak about wickets.
Okay, fast forward 8 hours. Yeah. If I say, Akshay, Amish, you both predicted 300 this morning at breakfast. Are you happy now?
I'll be delighted. That'll be a good day. To be honest, even if the conditions weren't as bad, to get 300 on first innings, I don't think that's a bad situation in England. Yeah. If the tables are flipped and we're bowling first, then hopefully we get them all out. But I don't want us to get them out too early, because I don't want India to go into bat in the
No,
final
we
session.
want to get them out as early as possible.
No,
because that
but a
means
low
less
score.
runs.
Let them go no score. I don't care about
No,
runs.
no.
But I don't want India to go in and be exposed for 10, 15 overs at the end of the day.
Yeah, but the conditions aren't going to change. The whole test match is going to be overcast. We're going to have to bat in tough conditions. For me, I put roles reverse. If we're bowling first and they get 300 all out, I'd be devastated. That is way too many runs.
I didn't say get 300 and get out at the end of the day. I said don't get many runs. If they get 180 after 3 sessions, brilliant. That's a brilliant outcome. I think you're just too. I'm more optimistic right now than you.
Yeah, bring it back to earth again. I think we bowl first. 150, 180. We want to keep the under 200 in these conditions. Anything above that, it's going to be in the batsman's favour. So, with the swinging ball, moving with our bowling attack, we win the toss, bowl first. Damage will be done today.
I thought you would have eaten breakfast and mellowed out a little bit. You know how Desi men do. Breakfast, sit back. These guys are firing. We're ready to go. We're not far away from game time.
It would be a delight to watch Team India winning the toss, batting first and scoring 300. For that, मेरे हिसाब से, Abhijit, you tell me, Gill or Rohit have to bat really well, and everyone is focused on that because everyone is concerned about their batting as well, right?
Yes, definitely. I mean, openers अगर अच्छा करते हैं, then definitely the innings gets really well. And Gill was he was amongst the scores in Australia series as well. So I have high hopes on him because if you look at Virat Kohli, he also got to that dream stage in 2011 final. So this is also a very good opportunity for him. And Rohit has been an experienced campaigner in the last year. In 2019 also he got really good records in such a crucial event. So I am banking on them, and they are my go-to man in this kind of batting lineup.
Yatharth, what about you?
I think yes, opening needs to start well because if our openers are out there till the 20th over and Pujara comes in after the 20th over, I think we have started really well. But in case if Rohit and either of them gets out early and Cheteshwar Pujara is in, I think India is in a spot of when collapse is a possibility because if openers start really well and they make the ball a little old, then I think it would be easier for someone like Cheteshwar Pujara to show whom he is. Otherwise, if Cheteshwar Pujara comes in early, then he will also take a lot of time and in scoring some runs. So openers need to start really well.
Yup, I remember with Australia में भी पुजारा बेचारा पूरे bowling attack Australian जो खतरनाक bowling का damage ले रहा था, sustain कर रहा था, so that everyone else could bat well. That's really great. Varnata, coming to you. Gill and Rohit on the focus, or you're worried more about some other batsmen?
No, openers तो हमेशा से मतलब इनको अच्छा करना चाहिए so that our innings gets going well. अगर openers ही जल्दी out हो जाएंगे तो फिर बाकी सबके ऊपर pressure आ जाता है and then we don't want the top order collapsing so soon. I mean एक दिन तो वहाँ पे stick करो 2 दिन जितने दिन रह सकते हो because we know Pujara and all can stay there, but then openers it's really important for openers to stay there and play for some time and score some at least a century. बिकॉज ये तो एक पहला ही हमारा टेस्ट मैच है और इसी में हमारा रिजल्ट डिसाइड हो जाएगा तो दे नीड टू रियली प्ले वेल एंड गेट सम रन्स सो दैट अदर्स कैन कंटिन्यू फ्रॉम देयर सो ओपनर्स हैव टू डू वेल
कूल यथार्थ अभिजीत और वर्णता ने मिलके जितना आंसर दिया उतना गुरकिरत पाजा भी बोलने वाले हैं उसके पहले लेट मी स्विच द क्वेश्चन अ लिटिल बिट टेल मी आर यू हैप्पी विद द वे टीम इंडिया ने कॉन्फिडेंस दिखाया इन यंगस्टर्स लाइक शुभमन गिल ऋषभ पंत इज नॉट a youngster anyway. He's he's properly in the setup right now. So Gill ko world test of champions mein lana is really a big move from India. Are you happy with that confidence dikha rahe youngsters pe, or are you worried ki koi experience would have been better?
It's that question ki aage khua piche khai because you also have to see the other alternatives that you had. KL Rahul's technique has taken a beating since 2019. We've seen how he's been getting dismissed, foot not coming across, and something similar has been happening with Mayank Agarwal as well. If you saw his dismissals in Australia against Pat Cummins because of the anger, so Pat Cummins is also a very good bowler, so you have to give credit to him. With Pat Cummins, he comes very close from the crease and takes the ball away or bring it in. And Mayank, if you saw his dismissals, he wasn't sure if you should cover the initial line or if you should cover the second line. With Shubman Gill, we haven't seen that. But having said that, it's going to be a huge test for both the openers be it
Yeah.
Shubman or be it Rohit, because their strength lies in playing bounce and pace well. We
Yeah.
haven't really seen them do well in swinging and seaming conditions. So,
Yeah.
it's going to be a challenge. And I think when it comes to handling swing and seam, the meat of this batting lineup is at number 4 and at number 5. Because
Okay.
even Chiteshwar Pujara, we've seen, has sometimes struggles against the ball coming in. He had that weakness where his foot was not coming across. So this is something which we have to be worried about. And my biggest fear is if New Zealand choose to drop Ejaz Patel and play 5 seamers. If that happens, then this batting lineup really has no leeway,
Yeah.
because you will have Bolt and Saudi with the new ball, then you will have a Jamieson and a Henry coming in, and then if there's nothing happening, you have someone like a Neil Wagner who can bowl 10 overs on the trot. Let's not forget he's bowled 10 overs on the trot with a broken foot against Pakistan in a test match in New Zealand. So he's a mad guy. The That is where I think the game will be decided. Will New Zealand be confident enough to have Kyle Jamieson at 7 and Tim Southee at 8, and then have the three pacers in Bolt, Henry, and Wagner, or they are going to go with a safer option, have D Grandhome at 7, and then probably play another spinner. If D Grandhome and that spinner plays, then the Indian batting lineup could actually breathe a lot easier.
Okay.
But if these 5 pacers play,
Yeah.
then New Zealand would be very confident even if they can put up a total of 250, because there is literally no leeway. Cheteshwar Pujara over the last couple of years, or I'd say 3 years, even if you look back at his runs in 2018 on Australia, he doesn't really play the pull or the cut. So his scoring shots are very limited against pace bowling. It's only the drive and the flick. So a lot of onus then comes on to players like Ajinkya Rahane and Virat Kohli, who are technically the best batsmen in this team,
Right.
regardless of what others say. I know Cheteshwar Pujara can hold one end, but it's difficult to hold end when you have 5 bowlers coming at you all the time. Eventually, you still have to score runs. So
Right.
that is my biggest fear.
Totally agreed. Abhijit, who is the biggest threat for Team India from the New Zealand side?
Definitely Kane Williamson, because it's a battle of bowling attacks. So for Indian bowling attack, there is one guy that I will think. I mean, if he doesn't get out, then any score can be achieved by New Zealand. So for me, it has to be Kane Williamson.
Okay.
Okay. Yatharth, what about you?
I think the top 3 of the New Zealand, and in the bowling lineup, I think Neil Wagner is a major threat for this.
Okay. Vanata?
I think Kane Williamson's captaincy and Trent Bolt from the bowling attack.
Okay, that's going to be real interesting. We are about to witness history in the making. This is going to be the very first Test of Champions final. We are super excited. Hopefully, it'll be a great test match. And honestly, a quick question to all of you. Vanata, starting from you, would you prefer sharing the trophy, or a win or a loss? I mean, obviously, you would say win. So I'm telling you, win, lose, yeah, share.
No sharing the trophy. It's
अभी तो यार हाथ share नहीं है.
no sharing. हार जाओ ठीक है, but जीतना है. No
I
sharing.
I remember Vanata कल इधर कमेंट्स में पूरे से कैप्स लॉक में no share ऐसे कमेंट कर रही थी.
Yatharth, what about you?
I think if we are winning, then definitely win. But by chance, if we are losing, then sharing is a better option.
Okay, yeah. So basically, you'll settle for a share instead of a loss. You won't risk win जाते जाते हार गए तो.
No, if there is chance of win, that if there is a specific chance that we can win, then I think you should just close your eyes, and you never know. You may be on the other side of the win.
Okay, I'll ask you this way. ऑस्ट्रेलिया के टूर में तीसरा टेस्ट मैच ऋषभ और ये बैट कर रहे थे, तब there was a point कि मे भी हार सकते हैं अगर फटाफट हिट करेंगे, और we can just settle for a draw. वैसा अगर फाइनल में सिचुएशन आता है, what would you pick then, Yatharth?
I think we should go for win. Seeing Rishabh Pant is on bat and Pujara on the other end, then I think anything is possible.
Yeah, interesting comment by Vanata. बारिश हो जानी चाहिए if we are losing. Wow, I didn't look at rain from a positive perspective. That's good. Abhijit, आपके हिसाब से?
I will agree with Yatharth. जैसे 2019 सेमीफाइनल हमने मतलब बारिश अगर उस दिन हो जाती, वॉश आउट हो जाता, तो we would have been in the final. तो यहाँ पे भी एज ए क्रिकेट फैन मेरे को इंडिया का नाम चाहिए. माय हुक और माय क्रुक, एनीथिंग इज फेयर इन क्रिकेट आल्सो दीस डेज. सो इंडिया अगर हो रहा है तो होने दो, नहीं हो रहा है तो शेयरिंग, क्योंकि 100 साल बाद भी अगर कोई बच्चा देख रहा है तब अगर उसको इंडिया का नाम दिखेगा, उसको ज्यादा खुशी होगी, अभी भले ही हमको दुख हो.
Bharat, that's a very fair point. हमारे लिए ना next generation के लिए कर रहे हैं. That's a very fair point. Gurkirat, what about you? Settle for a draw or go for a win and risk losing?
I just want to say one thing. Everyone remembers 1983. Everyone remembers 2007. Everyone remembers 2011, 2013. No one remembers 2002 ICC Champions Trophy.
Oh, the shared one.
Yes, exactly. That is my point. So,
Okay.
and it's not just that Indian fans don't remember it. Even Sri Lankan fans don't remember it. They celebrate the 2014 World T20 a lot more. So there should be a result, regardless of who wins, because then it becomes a dampener because you've played 2 years, you've marketed it, and in the end you don't want a draw. So, like I said, 2002 trophy किसी को भी याद नहीं है. So a result is what I'd look forward to.
In fact, I wouldn't mind an interesting close match जो draw हो जाए. Like be it Ashes के कुछ matches रहते हैं जहाँ पे ना end में it's a fight to even have a draw. वैसे भी चल जाएंगे, but I don't want a rain spoiled match.
अगर हम लोग हार रहे तो rain. जैसे वर्णता ने बोला.
I like Varnata's answers the best, and let's pray to the rain gods की adjustment के हिसाब से आ जाओ. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining. Abhijit, Varnata, Gurkirat, and Yatharth. It was great talking to you. हम लोग lunch में around 5:30 PM को वापस मिलेंगे. And this is BATV Fan Doosra Test of Champions, forward by Dafa News. Bye.
Bye bye.